Not too long ago, this was me, frustrated, stuck, and honestly embarrassed with how I looked. I tried every fad diet, did hours of cardio, and just kept feeling like a failure when the weight would inevitably come back. Over the last 5 years of my fat loss journey, I've made every mistake possible, but I also figured out what actually works through my failures. Not only did I transform my own body, but I helped the people around me do the exact same thing. Today, I'm giving you the exact blueprint so you can skip the trial and error and get the results that you actually want. Before I show you the plan, we need to cover the mistakes that keep people fat, frustrated, and quitting too early. Trust me, I made all of them. So if you avoid these mistakes, you've already surpassed about 90% of guys trying to lose weight. First mistake, going on extreme diets. I've tried keto, carnivore, very limited eating windows, and even just doing literal hours of cardio a day. It took me way too long to realize that I wasn't David Goggins and that these practices were just messing up my relationship with food. You need to find a diet that is so good that it does not feel like a diet. You genuinely enjoy the food you're eating each day. I remember I used to spend all my energy thinking about not eating, and guess what would happen? I would lose a couple pounds and then just go on a binge and gain all the fat back. So I was actually just putting myself in a terrible state to build muscle. This is why I'm going to talk about setting up a sustainable diet. Second mistake, not prioritizing strength training. If you're someone who's just trying to lose weight, sure, go ahead, do hours of cardio and eat practically nothing. You'll lose scale weight. I tried that, ended up skinny fat, and lost all sort of muscle definition I even had in the first place. If you want to lose fat, then you need to be lifting consistently with intensity. This is why we'll be setting you up with a good workout split. Third mistake, incorrect macros. I remember looking at my physique when I was eating basically nothing, and I was like, why is my physique so weird? I screamed at myself saying, Curran, you're eating way too many fats which are very calorie dense and basically disregarding protein. How are you gonna have a healthy body with a lot of muscle if you're not hitting the right macros? That's why I'm gonna be setting you guys up with macros that allow you to perform at your best. Fourth mistake, not being in an actual calorie deficit. I remember as I started cutting, I was eating about 2,500 calories a day and was dropping weight pretty fast. After about 3 weeks, my weight loss just suddenly stopped. Day by day, I was seeing no progress for almost 2 weeks. Looking back, I'm just like, Curran, you're no longer in a deficit. As you lose weight, the amount of calories your body needs drops. Combine that with the cooking oil I was using too much of and the lack of movement I was getting throughout the day, of course I wasn't dropping any pounds. Don't worry, if you're feeling stuck, I'm gonna tell you how to solve this. Now let's structure you a plan so you can get your dream body. Keep in mind though, this is a generalized plan. If you do want a more individualized plan that fits your needs, I got you. I love helping people lose weight. That's what I do best. Regardless, let's go to a calorie calculator to find your maintenance calories. Do this by entering your age, body weight, and activity levels. Once you got this, subtract 500 to 700 calories from your maintenance, depending on how quickly you want to lose the weight. But be careful, don't go too low as this will just hurt your long-term progression. That's why I only recommend about 500 to 700 max. Once you've done this, let's calculate your macronutrient intake needs. Let's start off with your protein. You should be getting at least 1 to 1.3 grams per pound of body weight in protein. Let's say you weigh 220 pounds, you should be eating around 220 grams of protein. Pretty simple, right? Next up, your fats, and this is where I see most people mess up. Their fat intake is way too high. You only need about 20% of your intake to actually come from fats. For example, if you're eating 2,500 calories, around 55 grams of fats is going to be great for optimal hormone health. Having a lower fat intake is key to spare the last macro, carbs. Carbs are often demonized by keto people and other fad diets, but don't listen to them. You need carbs. Carbs is what allows us to perform good in the gym, which in turn keeps our energy up, which in turn keeps our strength, and then ultimately keeping our muscle. So we lose fat and keep our muscle. That's what we want. The remaining calories should all be coming from carbs. Now that we got the macros set up for you, let's talk about the micros. I used to neglect micronutrients and always wondered why I felt like crap when I was on a diet. Trust me, this is important. I'm not going to go too in depth about micronutrients right now, but to keep it simple, sticking to mostly whole foods in your diet is going to be what's going to allow you to feel the best. For example, good protein sources like ground beef, chicken, other animal meats, Greek yogurt, eggs, and whey protein powder will all allow great muscle protein synthesis. The unsaturated fat fats will be coming from nuts and avocados. Be careful not to eat too many of these though. You can get your saturated fats from places like the eggs and the ground beef. Last, carbs are going to come from a vast range of sources such as veggies, fruits, rice, potatoes, oats, and so much more. Obviously, this is just a summary, but if you want to make sure you're getting good micronutrient intake, I have a little hack for you. Asking ChatGPT to list your micronutrients is actually not a bad idea, along with using sources like Chronometer to really double check that micronutrient intake as well. Now, if this sounds overwhelming, remember, a good diet is one that you can stay on. So if you can't stay on this, I get it. You don't have to eat all whole foods. You can just eat mostly whole foods. Making these small food swaps like subbing out rice for a Rice Krispie here and there is a completely valid option and is not bad at all. Do this by just calculating the macros and making these subs accordingly. Don't do this too much though, because you will start to feel worse and a lot hungrier too, because whole foods tend to fill you up more. Okay, I know that was a lot, but I want y'all locked in, so let's get into training. Firstly, weight training for hypertrophy is going to be your best route. We want to build you as much muscle as possible. No, don't worry about becoming too bulky. Trust me, that will not happen. The best way to maximize muscle growth is to hit each muscle about 2 times a week while getting about 10 to 12 sets per muscle in that week. If you don't have many days to train, do full body workouts, prioritizing compound movements like squat, bench, dips, etc. But if you do have more time to train, I would do something like push-pull legs, which is what I actually do in my workout split. You want to be taking these sets very close, if not to failure. Unless you're very new to the gym, then I would say go a little bit lighter. Like I mentioned before, I do tailor workout programs to meet your needs if you are interested in that. For cardio, I don't even really tell people to do any more than 30 minutes a day, 2-3 times a week. But for me, I personally just enjoy getting 12K steps a day, which isn't that hard. It's just a couple little walks a day, which is going to keep me feeling great, not too fatigued, making sure I'm in that deficit. Okay guys, I know that was a lot, but I don't want y'all to make the same mistakes I did. I hope I could be a help. So have a good day. Good luck in your journey.